So basically today we're going to be getting into numerology and specifically Pythagorean numerology. Now Pythagoras was as some of you guys may have learned in math class if you were paying attention, unlike me. Pythagoras was the one who made, Pythagorean theorem, right? As I put the definitions above, right? So what Pythagoras did was he believed that numbers were the source of the universe. The numbers were essentially what was the source of absolutely everything that is going on in the universe. So even to an extent of it's in your birthday, it's in numbers are in the fabric you're in, numbers are in absolutely everything. He even came up with ways to sort of predict your own destiny or in your own shadow side and your soul urge, your destiny number and your soul urge number. And all these things are inside of the book Numerology and the Divine Triangle. This book gives very detailed information on how numbers and how they correlate with the universe and how it correlates with how your life may or may not be happening in your own personality. Kind of similar to zodiac signs, but personally, this is more accurate. This is just more accurate. It gets more in detail and it requires a little bit of math, nothing crazy. Now, each number has certain things, qualities that go into certain things. Now, for example, if you keep seeing certain numbers repeatedly, right, this may be an oracle from the universe, right? So the human mind naturally picks up on patterns, right? But the universe, spirits, higher consciousness, we'll say, do not speak in logic. It doesn't speak in words. Like I'm saying, I like the number 5. Okay, I like the number 5 because it's in the middle of 1 to 10. That's me just speaking to you, and I just gave you the logic. Well, they don't do that, right? Oftentimes what will happen is that they speak in symbols, either through your dreams, through patterns, through all types of things, right? So essentially, when you keep seeing these numbers, it's the universe trying to show you something, the universe trying to provide some sort of oracle for you to pick up on. Now, naturally, the human brain will always pick up on patterns. Now, who was Pythagoras? So he was born around 570 BCE, in the island of Samos, Greece, right? And as a lot of you guys will know, he came up with the Pythagorean theorem, right? And A2 plus B2 equals C2, right? Some of you guys may remember that from high school, right? He didn't just make math. He believed that math was the source of everything. It was a source of absolutely everything. And if you think about it, everything is correct. He believed that numbers weren't just tools, they were sacred living forces that made up the entire universe. Pythagoras also believed in reincarnation. He taught that the soul is immortal and travels through multiple lives. He took numbers to a much deeper level than just mathematics. So it is called numerology. The numerology is the study of the spiritual and energetic meanings of numbers. Every number from 1 to 9 carries a unique vibration. Let's get to the freaking point of the damn video, right? So let's talk about why you keep seeing numbers, like repeated numbers, right? Let's get to the point of it. Well, I'm going to break down what each number basically means and what it's trying to get across to you. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than your actual soul urge and destiny number. This is something that I'll get into later in a different video for people that are interested. Let's start with the number 1. Well, the number 1 represents new beginnings, right? New beginnings. If you think about it, think about the number 1, especially when it comes to unity and things like that. I have notes here just to make sure. If you think about the 1, right? So in Hermeticism, they call it the 1, the all, right? I believe in Neoplatoism, it says they call God the 1. In Christianity is Yahweh, or and in Islam it's Allah, right? And there's only one God, so monotheism, right? And everything comes from this one source. So one is always going to represent whether it's a new beginning or something like this. And this is just a gist of it all. If you're seeing the number one, you're on the right track, but stay humble and realize that there's going to be a new beginning. And oftentimes people will see the number one after a massive amount of change. They're on the right track. However, you just need to remain humble and be prepared for a new beginning. Number two is a very interesting one. So the number two could be both a good thing. I don't want to say a good thing and a bad thing. Each number has its shadow side to it and its good side to it. But let's infer that it's the shadow side of it all, so y'all can get the gist of it. Well, if you're seeing 222 a lot, the number two represents polarity. So in Hermeticism, there's something called the principle of polarity, meaning that there's always going to be one side of the same coin. But if you really think about it and break it down, think about it like this. What's the difference between cold and hot? And the difference between tall and short? And they're two different things, right? Now, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and that shit's toxic, you know what I'm saying? So what if you're getting in a situation and you're seeing the number two? It means you need balance in your life. It means you need to balance it out. Oftentimes when people keep seeing the number two, they have some sort of polarity in their life that's either toxic, or it usually means that they need to get some sort of balance and some sort of alignment in your life. So don't freak out if you're seeing the number two. It just means you need to balance your life a little bit. So let's talk about why you keep seeing numbers like 111, 444, 1111, 1212. These are called synchronies. They're like little pings from the universe or your subconscious or even ancestors, depending on how you look at it, telling you to pay attention. Now let's go into the number three. So what are some things in the number three that we remember? The Trinity, Jesus, the Trinity, right? The 4 points of the triangle, right? The element of fire. You know, when you look at the symbols from alchemy, all of them represent the number three with the triangles and things like that. Number three represents things like creativity, the mind, body, and soul alignment. So in alchemy or hermetic alchemy, you have the mind, the body, the soul. So for example, Mercury representing your spirit or your mind, sulfur representing your soul, and through salt representing your body, the mundane of your physical flesh. And number three, and it oftentimes means that you need to be a little bit more creative in your life. Things are you need to be have some more alignment and really seek things within yourself that could possibly create new things in your life. 4 is about stability, structure, manifestation, and things like that. The number 4 really represents that you need more stability in your life, balancing all 4 elements, right? Like in the 3 books of occult philosophy, Agrippa says 4 is a number of the world of material things, the base of all physical existence, which it is. Fire meaning your spirit, your drive. Water, your intuition, cleansing. Wind, your spirit and how things flow and things like that. And earth meaning grounding, your roots. You know, if you're seeing a dream, for example, and you're just always surrounded by forest, it's literally telling you that you're lost in life, right? And you need more grounding in your life. You need to put your roots in. Just an example, stability, you need more structure in your life. And yeah, the number 5 is a bit more chaotic. A lot more chaotic. It means change, movement, and transformation. It's gonna mean you're gonna have some changes in your life, obviously, but oftentimes the number 5 is an oracle, meaning that your life is freaking chaotic. It is freaking chaotic, and it's kind of a wild card number. In a nutshell, the number 5 is gonna represent like chaos before breakthrough. Your life is about to flip, and be prepared for it. The number 6, the amazing 666, the mark of the beast, right? It don't mean that in this scenario, right? You're not gonna, burn in a lake of fire, as some people think, But in this situation, as an oracle, we'll just stick to that. The number 6 is really tied to material focus. Material focus. Oftentimes, when you are seeing the number 6, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, is trying to connect with you and tell you that you're way too focused on material things. Your unconscious mind already knows this, but your ego is keeping you from seeing that you are literally way too focused on material things, material value, when in reality, you need to sit back and think, maybe I should focus more on what's important rather than material things. Now, the number 7 is a very, very important number. In the 3 books of occult philosophy, it is Cornelius Agrippa goes on and on and on and on about it. For example, even in the book of Revelation, the 7 seals, the 7 horsemen, not 7 horsemen, the 7 plagues, all these types of things. The number 7 is seen throughout all types of, whether it's esoteric or biblical text and things like that. Even Pythagoras himself saw it as spiritual awakening and introspection in the search for truth. And you could note that he regarded it as a mystical number representing the union of the physical 4 and the spiritual 3. The number 8 is, I'm just going to be straightforward, karma. Straight up karma. Somebody's about to get some karma, whether it's you or somebody else. So keep an eye out, but stay humble, but act bold. It's about power and abundance. You could be seeking too much power. Somebody could have power over you, or it could also be you have too much abundance in your life. These are things that it could mean. You need to, but again, this is why things like meditation and cleansing and things like that are very important, because I'm not going to be able to tell you the exact issue. Only you be able to connect and create a medium between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind, and figure out what shadow self is hiding and what things may be to come. Only you can figure that out. Number 9. The number 9 in a good way means completion. So you could have completed a task. You could be completed spiritually. You could be completed in a lot of ways. Completion. Like Juice WRLD, you often use the 999. Now I can't tell you exactly why he used it. He could have used it because he felt complete in life. He had money. He had all the things he needed. He wasn't complete, but he probably felt that way. Right? No disrespect to him. I'm just saying he just wasn't complete. It just wasn't happening. But in a nutshell, it's endings, completion, release. But usually when completion, we mean soul completion. Not just like, oh, I completed high school type shit, or I just completed whatever. It means completion. So the number 9 is a good oracle. Stay on the right path. So number 10 is a really big number of perfection. I like the 10 commandments and things like that. I use a lot of biblical terms, Christian biblical terms, because 1, I was a Christian and it just clicks with me. And number 2, a lot of my audience will probably be either former Christians or be familiar with Christianity. A divine green light saying, okay, you're reaching perfection. Now be humble about that, but it means that you are really, really on the right track. Now the number 11 is complex. Now the number 11 essentially is meaning intuition and insight and enlightenment. Cornelius Agrippa hates this number. I don't know why, but the number 11 is a number where it's in between the number 10 and the number 12. I'm getting into the number 12 a little bit early, but like the 12 apostles, 12 orders of blessed spirits, 12 archangels ruling over the signs, so on and so on and so on. So 11 being in between 2 perfect divine numbers often means that you are so close to what you need to be accomplishing. So close to what you need to be accomplishing, but you need to trust your intuition. People often see the number 11 have strong intuition, but they're just not they ain't paying attention. They're not paying attention, and they have so much power and so many things going for them. A lot of times intelligence, but they just keep saying, I'm not gonna listen to my intuition. I'm not. My inner voice, right? So you see the number 11 a lot. Start paying attention and start listening to yourself and your intuition and the oracles around. I basically already got to the number 12. If you see the number 12, I swear I see people, very rare that I see people see the number 12, but it's a very divine number, the number 12. Universe, it means you have a lot of universal harmony. A lot of people who just do a lot for others start seeing the number 12. You know, like I said, the 12 disciples and the 12 prophets. You know, 12 is clearly a divine number. Now, if this open your mind a little, I would say grab the book Numerology and the Divine Triangle. It's very, very, goes much more in depth than I did. I just really wanted to get this information out there so people can get the gist of it and understand that I really want people to know that things aren't just random. Now, don't get me wrong, the universe has chaos, and chaos is fine. You know, it's fine. But you need to have controlled chaos. You know, and when the universe is showing you oracles, trust it. Trust it, trust it, trust it. If you keep repeatedly seeing something, you see it once, maybe even twice, you call it a coincidence, right? Don't just like be like, oh, I saw on the license plate 222. That means that I'm having a bunch of polarity problems. Or I see 666, I'm gonna die. Like, nah, like just make sure that you are legitimately paying attention. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please like and subscribe, and go watch my other videos. You know, I have a video talking about how I left Satanism and things like that, spiritual awakening, and I also have an intro to my channel. So, and I'm going to be uploading every week. I'll try to make sure I have an upload by Saturday. So if you want more information on esoteric things, occult philosophy, magic, as well as theology, I'm kind of shying away from getting into the theology too much because it's often controversial, but I'm finna do it. You know, I'm gonna do it regardless, you know, because religion and theology as a nutshell is extremely important. It plays a big role in people's everyday lives, whether they admit it or not. And unfortunately, there's a lot of hidden secrets, hidden things that are between the lines of religion, whether that's Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever. Even old pagans have a lot of things that a lot of people don't know, and they may correlate, and I cross-reference, and I'm going to explain those things later. Okay, so thank you guys for watching, and again, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed my content. See you guys later.